Joe Biden. All hail President Joe Biden. He has given us June 19, 2021 as our day. We thank you, Joe Biden. Juneteenth is our day. We thank you, Joe Biden. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, men and women. Welcome to Commander Galpohkpa Chesson Talk Show. Today is June 18th. Happy June 19th. Juneteenth. Happy Juneteenth 2021. Today is a holiday. Let's get out there and enjoy it. Today is the first Juneteenth celebration ever as a federal holiday. And we give this occasion our special thanks and appreciation to President Joe Biden, to the United States Congress, who made this happen for us. Although we'll be celebrating it tomorrow, but the federal holiday begins today. So it was a wonderful sight yesterday to see all our Black leaders surround the president as he signed the official document making June 19th a national federal holiday. All hail President Joe Biden. Thank you for this. Okay, let's get to my lesson for today. First of all, we see that the former president of the Republic of Ivory Coast returned home yesterday. Was it yesterday or the day before, but it was sometime this week. He returned home yesterday, I think it was yesterday. He returned home yesterday to a crowd welcoming him back home after he had been cleared and freed. I think they said temporarily or provisionally. I don't know how to term it, but he's partially free to return home to the Ivory Coast. Laurent Gbagbo has returned home to a rousing welcome. They gave him the opportunity to return home, but we don't know what kind of restrictions they will place on him. There are some people saying that, they gave him the opportunity to go home, but they place a restriction on him not to get involved in politics for X number of years. France was involved in this as usual. Ivory Coast is a French colony, so nothing happens in Ivory Coast without France being involved. So I listened to Liberia Public Radio today, this morning, which did a good job presenting this program about Gbagbo going back home to Ivory Coast. And I got to learn a lot from it too. So we see that all of this stemmed down from Benoni. And it is just in our recent history, just like Tauber and Tutman and all of them, in our very recent history. Benoni just died the other day. And he ruled Ivory Coast for years. And not only was he a leader in Ivory Coast, he was also the interior minister for France, because he was born under the first few colonies that France established in Ivory Coast, and they were granted French citizenship under the process of assimilation, which was the process that France began colonizing Africa with. Assimilation is to turn people into Frenchmen. They wanted to colonize Africa, and the first four colonies I think they colonized, they gave them French citizenship. And Ivory Coast were one of those. So Houphouët-Boigny was a citizen of Ivory Coast and a citizen of France. And most of the people that were born in those colonies were grandfathered into that fathership, into that citizenship, French citizenship. But after it became so expensive for the French government, they said, no, let's go to the British. The British process of colonization was indirect rule. The system was indirect rule. They did not come into Africa to rule. They ruled Africa through the military and the African chiefs. So all they do was had to subdue the chiefs, and whatever they told the chiefs to do, the people followed the chiefs. So it was indirect rule. The chiefs ruled the people, but Britain ruled the chiefs. Which is the same Commonwealth process going on today. But France in the beginning tried to make everybody in their colony French citizens until it got financially too burdensome for France. So they said, nah, let's adopt the British system to indirect rule. But the first few colonies that they formed in Africa were assimilated and got French citizenship and were to serve in French government to the Houphouët-Boigny. Okay? So all of this come down, and we get a story that I was listening to Liberia Public Radio today, and Mr. Weeder, who was one of the guest presenters, and he was talking about how Houphouët-Boigny brought Gbagbo in and made him prime minister or something. Then they brought Laurent in, the new president in Ottawa or whatever he is. And this is how they all confusion started between these two men. But anyway, you can go on Facebook and you find Liberia Public Radio, Alfonso's usual. He was a commentator, the host of that show. So if you go there, you may be fortunate to find that show still up. That's Liberia Public Radio. Okay, it was a nice program today. So I saw that. And this way I got all this information from about Gbagbo returning home and to the jubilation of the crowd and all of that. And they show him being released by the International Crimes Court. He's being free on some temporary basis. So this is it for my introduction. Okay, just to give you a heads up. And all this has been in the process from the past 10 years. I think the civil war, the civil unrest started 8 years ago with Gbagbo and Laurent and Ottawa. And Gbagbo was subdued and taken under there to the World Crimes Court. And for the past 10 years, he's been fighting his case, and he just won a temporary release from the court, and he's gone back home. Okay? So as time go on, we'll let you know what's happening in the community, what's happening in France, in Ivory Coast, so we can be abreast with this, okay? But in the meantime, let me put up my topic and let's get into my lesson for the day. Okay. Today, we have some serious stuff to deal with. Okay? If you saw my topic in the beginning of the show, there are 3 as usual. As soon as they come up, we get into them. Okay, my 3 topics for the day are 1. All Liberia parties standard bearer Benoni Urey speaks. 2. COVID-19's Delta variant impacts Liberia. 3. Liberia's demon legislators. Let's start off my first topic. All Liberia's party standard bearer, ALP standard bearer Benoni Urey speaks. I listened to Benoni Urey's speech he made yesterday, a day before yesterday, before the press, speaking on several issues. He spoke on the coronavirus, the rise in the new variant, and how the government needs to pay attention to it. How healthcare in Liberia is a nightmare. No beds in the hospitals. No oxygen in the country. He talked about how after COVID-19, the Americans left a whole system of oxygen for the Liberian government, for JFK, and was never hooked up. Now we need oxygen, and it still hasn't been hooked up. And since Ebola so long ago, there's no guarantee that those equipment are still working today. They've never been used. They've just been sitting there. So you know they have incurred rust. JFK is near the ocean. So all these things are a problem for us. No beds. I even heard one of our brothers coming to Rhode Island passed away recently, unfortunately. And they couldn't find no bed for the brother. This is a serious problem. When all the hospitals running out of bed and people can't get oxygen in the whole country. George Weah just put out a release amplifying the problems to the people. The same COVID-19 problem, which I will get to in my next topic. But this is serious. Okay? Urey touched on the economy of the country. How is it feeling? How inflation is so bad. All the prices going up for things. How you want to buy something that was $60 the past time he went there, now it's double the price, $100 and something bucks. He talked about corruption in the judiciary, corruption all through the country. He talked about the president pro tempore of the Senate chair, how he called the executive branch for money, requesting money before they can approve the budget, requesting money before they can perform their duties as legislators. So this is where we come to now. Our country is a kingship or a dictatorship or something. I don't know what we're running in that country. Or it's just run amok. It's just gone out of control. And Benoni Urey himself trying to justify all his millions he got. And we know Benoni Urey ain't got no fair millions. And Benoni Urey, you can't sit there and tell us you got $1 million on your own. That's BS. Because you will know before you met Charles Taylor, you had no money. So how all of a sudden you just became a millionaire overnight? And these are the things that are right for our country. And there's no way you can sit before me and justify the fact that you earn $1 million. I'll have you knocked down in jail right away in front of me. You can't sit before me and tell me that foolishness. And these are the stupidness we got to put an end to. And these are the things a civilian government will waste too much time doing. How long we have to sit in court with Benoni bullshit, talking about he earned his money, and we know he didn't earn the money. How many times we got to sit down with this bullshit? All these people depending on the court, and you people are economic criminals. You people are murderers. You people got our country where it is today. Benoni, you ain't no damn angel. It's just the right government is in Liberia to prosecute these people. You know, and he's sitting now talking about how he support Galpohkpa, knowing that Galpohkpa will not choose Alexander Cummings. Alexander Cummings will not choose to be vice president for Galpohkpa. Benoni, you has a better chance. So he's sitting there praising Galpohkpa. Oh, the puppet this, the puppet that, the puppet that. You see why we gotta weed these people out of our society. You see why Attorney Commander Galpohkpa Chesson needs to come home now and take over the system for 5 years. Clear our country of these rogues, strengthen up the country, fill up the prison. We can't go through this. How long will we go through this? How long? Everybody come, they try to justify the stealing, the corruption. And everybody know what's going on with Benoni and Galpohkpa. There's no way Cummings will submit to Galpohkpa to be VP. So they got to run against Galpohkpa. So Benoni is sitting there, coochie, because he knows Galpohkpa will not be VP to Cummings. So what will Cummings do now? I listened to Benoni talk about the party system, how they will send people all over the county to do election. Then they will come in Monrovia and do the selection and put all the numbers together and select the president. Then the president will select his vice president. So what are the choices for president and vice president now? Would it be within the three parties? Or would the president be able to select his vice president from the array of officials of the coalition? How will he select his vice president? Would it be limited to the standard bearers of the three or four parties? Would it be only between Benoni and Kanga Lawrence, Ella Cummings, and Galpohkpa? Because from what Benoni is stating now, he got me a little confused. Because if the president would be selected, then the president would select his or her vice president. Will it be from the four-party candidates that are running for president, or the four-party leaders that are standard bearers? Or can the president pick his vice president from amongst the leadership of the coalition, excluding the vice president, including the candidates for presidents and the presidency, or the standard bearers? because we want to know all of this. We want to know all of this. Are the two parties going to run together? Is Borka going to pick his running mate and come and pick his vice presidential candidate, and all four of them go to the primary together, the party's primary? Everybody got their own vice presidential candidate? Or will everybody just vie to it when the president, when he picks somebody? Is that a fairer process? Because this process of election of the coalition has to be made clear. Has to be made clear and fair. Because if everybody would just run individually and whoever be selected as president can just choose from among all the people and pick a vice president, is that the right process? Or will that process lead to more confusion, to more problems? Other than having one president with his vice president, another president with his or her vice president, and both of those parties running, vying for the head of CPP. And whoever wins goes there with their vice president. They don't have to pick from the array of other leaders. So we have to understand this process that CPP is going to apply in selecting its leaders. We have to understand it. Because we have to understand the fairness in it. Or we're going to just leave it to the standard bearer to set the pace for his or her government, which may or may not be fair. Which may not be fair. So there are many models that could be used to determine the president for the CPP or the standard bearer and co-standard and vice standard bearer. So we have to decide which it is going to be. Because Benoni has said it one way, that way it can lead to confusion. I'm saying it another way, that Joe Biden select his vice president, that Elliot Cummings select his vice president, and they go to the primary for their party's leadership. So whoever wins comes out with their president and vice president already chosen and selected. Then to win it and come back and select from all the leadership that didn't win. So to avoid conflicts, CPP has to set up a system for selecting the standard bearer and vice standard bearer in a more professional manner, in a manner that would be fair. Fair. It will leave no room for questioning the truthfulness of anyone that is elected standard bearer. It will avoid deceitfulness. It would avoid every negativity element within the party. Because no standard bearer or president, a person can vie for the standard bearership of a party without selecting their own vice standard bearer. Because if you don't have your own, how do you work with all the other people when you're competing against each other? And you're already having problem with trust issues, problem with honesty issues. So we gotta be mindful about this. The Liberian people don't need to be deceived. You people need to set up your party structure better. Set up your system better. It's what Benoni, you were saying, the agreement of everybody else in this coalition. Is that it? Or will somebody else come up with a different plan? So we listen to Benoni Urey. He himself got problems with corruption. He himself got problems with stealing. He himself got problems with issues concerning the progress and advancement of our country and its failure. So these are people we got to address to. And to say CPP, we got to know what CPP is standing. We got to know what system they're going to use for their primary. We got to know how they plan to select their standard bearer and co-standard bearers. And this will alleviate some of the problems. As for the other problems that concerning Liberia, will CPP be able to resolve them? Look at all these problems you talked about. The COVID-19 rise. Our health care is a nightmare in Liberia. No beds, no oxygen. People dying. Just for lack of treatment. Lack of beds. I mean, you go to the hospital, from the emergency room, where you go, sleep in the hallway, on the floor. And they don't even have those air mattresses where people can buy to put air into it. And if they did have it, it would be so inflated in the price now because it's in demand. And we know the principles of supply and demand. So where we're going with this healthcare business, our economy, that's what I'm talking about, inflation, because it's stealing. The money not circulating. Only one group of people got the money. And the money is for the country. We don't even have good notes in the country. Our country is totally broken down because of rogues. Look at all the people taking their $15,000 and talking about, we ain't giving it back, we ain't giving it back. You're right. Some of y'all don't deserve to give it back because if you see about making changes in your counties, you need that money. I went to Cape Mount County. I saw how deplorable that county is. Those people need more than $15K to help revive their county, revitalize the system of governmental institutions in those cities, in those counties. Our country is backward, totally backward. But the way they're giving all the money, man, people just stealing the money, man. Look at they been giving out $30,000 for years now. These people been receiving free $30,000 for more than 1 year now, for more than 2 years. We're going to find it out. We're going to find it out. And our intention is to get that money back. If you're any one of y'all use that money, if we can't find out what you did with that money, we want it back. And a lot of people will lose properties. A lot of properties will be sold in auction. Because if you take our money and we can't get it back, we're taking your properties and we sell it in auction to get some of our money back. To resolve some of our problems. If we can't get all our money back, we'll get some back. To alleviate our waste and problem. What all this stealing for? What's all this stealing for? Now we come to my second topic. This COVID-19, I got the Delta variant from Pastor Show because there's nothing to read anywhere in Liberia. So you either get it from the international community or BBC or some foreign news. Okay? So here we are with this deadly variant. I read We Are Letter because that man can't speak. I heard somebody read it for him, or he read it and didn't even show his face. It is embarrassing. It's embarrassing. He can't speak. He can't read. He's scared to take the vaccine. What kind of man is this? And it's harming our country, man. It's harming our country so bad. Why y'all think this COVID-19 was never going to hit Liberia? The thing killed so many people in the foreign lands. And it's still prevalent in America here. We're still fighting it. It's still popping up everywhere now and then. We're still fighting it. Look at what it did to India. They thought they were like Africans too. It wasn't coming there. But when they got ready, it hit that place. Y'all think when I hit Liberia, it coming to Africa. And look at it just taking its time. Hitting one area, taking its time, then we hit the other area. Because people traveling, people intermingling, people not sitting down. So once you have people traveling, that disease is traveling. And people traveling, they're not vaccinated. They're not taking their vaccine. They're mixing with other people. They're traveling to other countries. That's how the variants develop. Because we're not seeking no cure. We're just traveling. Now we got a vaccine. Some people don't want to take it. And you know that will create a problem too. Because as the season changed, everybody taking off masks in different places. Look at everybody just talking about Liberia, how all the people turned up for the football, Manchester United or something. The whole fan club in Liberia, half of the nation turned up. No mask, no nothing. Marching close to each other. Now we're talking about how the cases rising. The statistic we got from George Weah himself, he says there are 67,437 people in Liberia who have taken one dose of the vaccine. I think that's AstraZeneca. I think that's the one in Liberia, the one that was going off from America and all these other countries. So that AstraZeneca. Yes, they had some problem with it. But what George Weah scared of? What the rest of the Liberian people scared of? You're getting no help from nowhere else. So you better pray to the Lord and take that vaccine. You better pray to God and take that vaccine. Or you will die. Our country is below standard. We way below standard because our leaders are rogues. All of our leaders are rogues. How many people been taking that $30,000 and taking it home and using it for government issue? These people have been enriching themselves. Our leaders been enriching themselves while Liberian people have been dying. This is not right. This is not justice. This is not correct. Our people didn't die for this. This is not right. This is not justice. And we didn't go through 14 years of civil war to come back to the same BS. Something got to be done. Something got to be due. We got to rise up. It's not right. It's not right. This is not the fight on the people taking this $30,000 home. This is not right. These people stealing from us. Look at our country. Look at how many people dying now. They say 200 and something people dying, cases every other day. Huh? Right now, we have 2,862 cases in the country. And it's going. They're finding 250 cases every day. And they're calling this the third wave. From May 16 to June 15. To June 15. Just the other day. We're in the third wave now. And no oxygen in the country. No beds in the hospitals. Even Benoni, you were talking about how his mother was COVID-ridden. And they tried to find beds all in the city of Monrovia. Now one of the hospitals had vacant beds. Now one of the hospitals had oxygens. And the woman died. So how are we going to treat our people now? No oxygen. What we do? Mouth to mouth resuscitation? Huh? They left the equipment there for you. Instead of you hook it up and be working it so the system can be working, you just left everything there. Because the disease finished, everything finished, you just left it. You see, and this is Ellen Johnson selling, bro. This is Ellen Johnson selling leadership. This is the Harvard graduate. You know, our country, if we don't steal it, we waste it. If we don't steal it, we waste it. That's waste. You get a gift of oxygen. There is no way a hospital can function without oxygen. There is no way an emergency room can function effectively without oxygen. So how are you people getting oxygen now? When all the oxygen machines were shut down and not connected to the hospital, how you are getting oxygen? Anybody knew how to use the oxygen machines? You had trained people. The waste got to stop. The waste got to stop. It's uncalled for. It's unnecessary. And when we get in this dire health situation, the waste plus the corruption plus the incompetence, our people just dying for nothing. Just dying for nothing. Then we're crying about brain drain. How there will not be brain drain when our leader is incompetent? They don't want help. They want post restriction on other Liberians coming home. Why? Because they want steal. They want corruption to perpetuate. But we can't go on like this. We can't go on like this. Because the more our system breaks down, the more our healthcare education system breaks down. Now, right now, we're going down into lockdown. There is no way this disease will be spreading to this. People will be dying. And we know that lockdown is a preventative measure. So we got to go back into some kind of lockdown. Here we go again. Our country going down, down, down again. How can we help ourselves? What can we do to change our lives? How we sit down and just see these people stealing, and our people just dying needlessly. This COVID-19, it never really hit Liberia until now. And we have become so lackadaisical in everything, in washing our hands, in taking care of our health, in wearing masks, everything. We have put it down. And now this disease is emerging again. It's growing stronger. It's turning into different forms. A variant is a different strain. It's the same disease, but perhaps it have gotten used to people. Black people, we said it couldn't catch us now. Now the variant have formed that can catch us. Just like it happened in India. They said it couldn't catch them too. But then the variant formed to be the Indian variant. Where they say, okay, we can catch you. Okay, we'll get used to the sun. We'll get used to all these. We're coming for you now. The same thing with Africa. We see it when that catch us. Now the strand for our system coming into play. We don't know how they form. We don't know how these strands are forming, but they are forming. And they are killing people they never killed before in the first, second phases. So we got to be prepared. Are we prepared? Are we prepared? Are there ambulances? Sir Johnny, where he did where he paid $15,000. Huh? You guys going to pay women and bail and bond and get them out of prison with their $15,000. And they're announcing it. They're waiting for it to go do it. Because they've been doing it for long with this money. Can you imagine how rich these guys are? This is not fair, man. This is not fair. It's not fair. It's not fair. Look at our country, man. Our whole system has depleted. Our whole system gone down. We are so gone down, we're hitting the ground. We can't move no more. We're in the dirt. We're in the dirt. We're stuck in the dirt now. We can't move. The system needs to be overhauled. There's no way George Weah can revive the system that he destroyed. There's no way these people can bring the system back because they keep stealing. Despite all the sufferings our people going through, despite all the way they're seeing it, these people collecting money and going home and being happy and sleeping every night and seeing our people protesting and seeing our people demonstrating for their money. And they have no remorse, no empathy, no love, no patriotism. They would take $15,000 each, say they're going to build a library. When our people have nothing to eat. How you would treat the country like that? How you would treat the people that die in our country? If you all know the people haven't gotten paid, why you would be carrying $30,000 home? Why? Why are you people so mean? Let's get on the Liberian demon legislators. Because these people gotta be demons. You're gotta be wicked. Because there's no way love and empathy and sympathy and consideration can be in your hearts for your people. Look at Pompon burn himself the other day. And you're excuse me. And you'll see all these things and continue to perpetuate the same evils that caused that boy to burn himself. Yes, other people ain't got the nerve to do it. Other people ain't got the heart to do it. And there's no need to do it. Because we shouldn't be hurting ourselves while a few people just enjoying when we are the majority. It's time for us to rise up. We can't go on like this. We can't go on like this. We can't go on like this. I don't care who be the leader. I just want us to rise up and get rid of these people. Demand that George Weah step down. It's time. I don't care if Julia get there for the next few months, but she can't last. As soon as she get there, she got to open up a free and fair election because she corrupt too. But George Weah got to step down now because he's incompetent. He's totally incompetent. We don't know about Julia yet right now. But even he stepped down, Julia cannot stay there for the rest of his term. This government needs overhauling. So she would just go there for a temporary while before we have another free and fair election. Because we can't tolerate this government that has brought us down to this point. And Julia is a part of it. But at least she got more wisdom and knowledge than George Weah. She can hold on a little bit that we evaluate her too. But we can't go on like this. We cannot go on like this. This is not sensible living. This is not civilized living. This is not constitutional democratic living. Excuse me. It's not. What kind of living is this? What kind of living is this? Of all the educated people we got in the world and in Liberia, our president can't read and write. Our president scared to show his face on TV because he will be laughed at and mocked. So what's the problem we're facing in this country with illiteracy and education as a disease? What's the problem? We gotta take some kind of stand to change our country, man. You mean we'll stay like this under 2023? What if this disease forms another variant that is worse than this Delta or whatever they call it? And it kills all of our people like the Indians. How will we handle this thing? Who will we turn to for help? Who? Because when our government is so incompetent to the point where there's a breakdown in leadership, we need real help. And nobody in the country will be able to bring us up because the whole leadership apparatus is messed up. Look at who George Weah appointed to government power now. The same corrupt people to protect and buttress his corruption. So our leadership system is kaput. It's down the drain. We got so incompetent people. Recycling of the rogues, recycling of the incompetence, recycling of the criminals. So here we are now. Besides our legislature being corrupt and demons and just money grabbers and political prostitutes, now we got our executive just full of dummies. Our legislature, the same corrupting system. Everybody just corrupting the system. And since the executive got the money, everybody has turned to executive loyalists. We have nobody standing up for our country. We have nobody. No nobody. It hurts. It hurts to see a great nation like our country just got so rogues. Everywhere you turn, people stealing. Everywhere you turn, there's unaccountability. Everywhere you turn, something missing. How we can continue with this? There's not corruption everywhere in the world, but people try to curb the corruption. Civilized nation try to curb the corruption so that they can build their nation better, so they can have health care, other facilities that they can be proud of. But we cannot continually take one step forward and two steps backwards. We can't continually have leaders that only get there for the money. Look at our lawmakers, they put all the kind of secret money in our budgets. All these secret things. Even if the George Weah is honest, he's too dumb to look at the budget and take out all these corrupt things. Then you got all the corrupt people around you again. Natalia McGill, Twe, all the people who have no morale. They would just bribe each other, share the money, and let Weah take the blame. But we can't go on like this. We cannot go on like this as a nation, people. This is not the right path. This is a destruction of our destiny, a destruction of our bright futures, a destruction of our love for Liberia. What kind of country we have, man? When all our resources gone, everybody come and chop their own and go. And one group of people, they take small packaging and share it. And it can't even last because all the money they're getting, they're running behind women. They got to pay 16 women house rents. They got to pay 20 children school fees. Buy uniform and all of that for children. They ain't got nothing. But why? Why we got to suffer? Why? Why we can't get conscious? Why? Why the masses of people's eyes can't open? It's not the war that's keeping us back. It's our own lackadaisical attitudes, our own failures that are holding us back. There's no reason our leaders are supposed to be stealing this from us. There's no reason our money's just supposed to be going to the dogs. There's no reason. And we can't see what happened in our country. We can't see what happened in our country. You live like Monrovia, you can't see nothing. Nothing. Are we going to continue like this? Are we going to continue to take this path as a path of the Liberian people? I can't do that. And I hope you guys join me, man. I hope you'll join me in telling these demon legislators, no more. We passed enough. We just talking about enough. Ain't we doing nothing. We gotta go to the nitty gritty now. No damn more. No more, man. No more. Look at all the wealth of our country just going to one set of people. One set of people. How many years these people been carrying this $30,000 home? Just to know that it's a continual process is hurting my heart. Yes, Darren Dillon brought it to light. He brought it to light. It needed to come to light. Because our country needs a total overhauling. So we can know everything that's going on in our country. So we can set a better thing. I listened to Tony Cry the other day talking about how some of the powers need to be taken from our legislature. like their salaries, and certain things that impact the good of the community. We need to put it in the community. We need referendums because the legislators cannot make their own pay. So if they cannot make their own pay, then the people got to make their pay. And we got to set the range and let the people decide the range for themselves. But all these things can't go on. All these corrupt people can't benefit from our country while we suffer. We got to change the system of leadership. The people got to be involved. We're approving stuff. We got to approve the legislator's salary. We got to approve every other thing that has to do with finances in Liberia. Because our people are just rogues. We can't trust these people. We can't trust anything they do with money. They got to steal. And the time for the new Liberian people's revolution is now. Rise. 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 Let's take back our country. Let's punish these rogues. Nothing is impossible. Only if God says so. And there's no reason why we can't unite. There's no reason why we can't solidify our efforts. There's no reason why we can't stand together. I don't see no reason why. I can't see no damn reason why. All your commotion, we are all above that. You just need somebody to raise your consciousness to the fact that nothing is impossible. Aluta, continua. Let's change our country. Let's change our destiny. Let's punish these rogues. We need roads in our country. You mean it's so hard for us to build roads in Liberia? For 2 centuries now, all the money we got, all the wealth we got in our country, people will just steal the $30,000 there for years, hide money in our budget for years, and we tolerate it, and we still do have roads in our country. We still do have hospitals. We still don't have beds. We still do have oxygen. What kind of country are we running? This is a broken down hell of a country. And we got to change it. We got to rise. We got to be men and women of our own destinies. And know when we say aluta, continua, it's the sound of the struggle. Have a good day. And make sure you understand that time and tide wait for no man. And we got to set our destiny. Because without it,
Joe Biden.
time and time
All
again.
hail President Joe
Without
Biden. He has
we
given
can't
us
succeed.
June 19,
Time
2021
and time again.
as our day. We thank
That's
you,
knowing who we
Joe
are.
Biden.
Knowing where
Juneteenth
we
is
stand.
our day. We thank you, Joe Biden.